was thinking through it, I think in many ways, a lot of people in the church today have a misconception about the mission of Jesus. And I wrote down a few thoughts, and this is not an aside, but I think it is something that is fitting because of the text we're in, that many people confuse Jesus' mission. People have asked me this week if I have opinions politically. I have opinions, a lot of them. I'm not a political commentator. I'm a preacher of the Bible, but certain things politically are more theological than they used to be. So let me just give you some things about where I stand, because people have texted me a few things, and I'll just, this stuff is not hard for me to say. Number one, the mutilation of bodies, the annihilation of babies in the womb, and the sexualization of your children. That is their calling card. That is what they want to do. They don't hide that. Secondly, you have a responsibility and privilege to vote for the option that best stems the tide of evil. A failure to vote is a failure to express our gratitude to the men and women that have died for our country and given us the freedom that we have today. It's also a failure to, I believe, obey the calling that we have to uphold the righteousness in our land. You don't have to like the personality, you just vote for the best option between the policies. And a vote, just in general, it comes from the Latin word votum, which means to make a choice. Number three, there are certain people that are going to amen the political thing, but I also want the amens just to be as loud as when I say this. Our hope is not in a political party. Who is in the White House is far less important than who is on the throne in heaven. And I want you to also understand, because I've watched some videos this week that contradict this idea, the advancement of the gospel isn't reliant a single ounce upon who is president. I want you to understand that where Christianity spreads the fastest and the farthest are in the nations that are persecuted the most, not where there's the most religious freedom. The reason our world is crumbling, the reason we're under the judgment of God, is because we've turned our back on God. And if you want to see political reform, you need to see a spiritual revival. It's not the other way around. You don't pursue political reform so that there can be a spiritual revival. Number four, we should speak out against the evil of our day, but you should never turn the mission field into your enemy. You can call out the policies, call out the issues. I can speak against the horrors of abortion. Makes God weep. The trans agenda, whatever it may be, I have a heart for those people. And you ought to have a heart for them. And you can get riled up on Twitter, and you can live in your insulated bubble and start looking at them. No, that's why you're here. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand what your mission is as a Christian. Number five, if you are more likely to promote your political views than you are to proclaim Jesus Christ, your priorities are way out of whack. So I disappointed both people, right? So that's where we're at today. But I want you to understand those truths. You should go vote. And it's not a difficult decision for me. But I also want to, I also want you to know that our hope is not in who's in office. There's ditches on both sides. You have the people that say Jesus 2024. I don't know what that means, because he's been Jesus and he's been king for the last 10,000 years, and he'll be Jesus for the next 10 billion years. I don't know what that means. But then you have pacifists, and then you have people that are putting all their hope in what happens in November. Listen, Stonebridge Bible is going to go on because the church is going to go on, and we're not on defense. The gates of hell will not what? Prevail. We're on offense.